Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks and I saw The Marvels and I didn't like it. Now I wasn't really looking forward to this movie, I wasn't dreading it by any means. The trailers looked fine, I liked Captain Marvel alright enough, and I even liked WandaVision and Miss Marvel. I was curious to see how they would translate the events that happened in those shows into this new movie, so I was curious about that. But yeah, still not like overly excited about it or anything. And unfortunately, this movie still didn't even manage to meet those expectations for me. I just did not care for this movie at all, really. Didn't hate it, it's not terrible. Hell, I think it's better than Quantumania, but I still didn't really find all that much to enjoy here. Starting with my positives, I really liked the action scenes in here. Some are definitely better than others, but they were still for the most part very fun, very well executed, very well choreographed, and had some fun styles and energy to them that are brought by Nia DaCosta's direction. I think she did a really good job here in that department, especially when the three leads first discover that they are swapping in different places. It leads to some fun moments near the beginning that I think were really well done. The chemistry between the three leads is also very good in here. They play off of each other very well. Their dynamic is great, and you can really tell that the three leads, Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Iman Vellani, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but they're all having fun being in this movie and interacting with one another. Easily, though, the standout is Iman Vellani. She just has this joyful energy to her in the way she plays her character that just makes you smile and feel happy every time she's on screen. Definitely the highlight of the movie. Another big highlight of this movie was the cat stuff. There's this subplot involving the cat that you don't really understand why it's starting when they hint at it at first, but the way it pays off near the end of the movie is actually very, very funny, and it's easily the funniest part of the movie. I could not stop laughing easily. Another big highlight of the movie. And my last praise with this movie is that near the end, it does seem to hint that things are finally starting to move forward in this phase. They hint at some things in the future that I am a bit interested to see, and will hopefully build upon this stuff in future movies. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to see how the stuff hinted at the end of this movie will play off later. But unfortunately, that's it for the positives I had with this movie, as once again, I have many, many negatives for this film. First off, I felt that the story was very messy and just had way too much going on and required you to do way more homework than you needed to do. You really needed to watch like the previous shows and the first Captain Marvel to really understand what is going on throughout the entire movie, because I feel if you just go into this blind, you may be a bit confused at some of the characters, some of those story arcs. And it also felt like there was a completely different movie that was supposed to come out before this that we were required to watch, but they didn't want to make that movie, so they just tried to fill in the blanks here and there, and unfortunately it doesn't really work, as once again it leads to some questions and some messiness in the writing. I also think this movie suffers from the Mario movies problem, where even though I am grateful that this movie is short, I do feel like they took some liberties in making this going a bit too fast, and that underscored a lot of potential bettering of some story arcs, and especially some of the character development. These characters didn't feel all that developed, in my opinion. They kind of rushed through some of their arcs, especially with the villain, who is just very weak. The actress tries her best to make the material work here, but it just doesn't. She just comes off super one note, unfortunately. The movie is also not very funny outside of the one bit with the cat, which again highlighted the movie, as well as a couple of the one-liners by Iman Vellani. I found a lot of the comedy be really awkward and stiff. It just didn't land right. The timing was a bit off, and it just wasn't that funny to me, unfortunately. And my last issue with the film is that while I did find some enjoyment in some of the action scenes and the ending, I did feel the climax, like the final battle, was very poorly done, very anticlimactic, and didn't feel as big or grand as the big final battle as it should. They could have done a much better job with that fight. So yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really care for the Marvels. Outside of some fun action scenes, the chemistry between the three leads, especially with Iman Vellani, and the cat stuff being the highlight, and hints at this phase starting to finally move forward a bit, this film still was an overall lackluster, below average MCU film. The story is messy, characters are underdeveloped, especially the villain. The jokes weren't that great, and it had a pretty weak climax. Unfortunately, I don't really recommend checking this out. This seemed better suited as a Disney Plus movie. Again, this is not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. I still think it's better than, Thor: The Dark World or Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Hell, I think it's better than Shazam 2. And again, you could do way worse with this. Even if you like this movie, I wouldn't have any issues with it. I could see some people having fun with the action scenes and some of the ridiculousness of the situations going on here. But as for me, I just was not with it, unfortunately. I don't really recommend checking this out. It just wasn't that good in my opinion. So those were my thoughts on the Marvels. What did you all think of it? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.
To get down, I'm not internationally known.